Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now July 6th of 2021. Now, one major aspect about the future of the Star Wars franchise that a lot of fans are just looking forward to as we speak is of course what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have pretty much planned for the future Star Wars TV shows and exactly how they're going to have a say in the matter of how many of the movies are going to be made for, of course, the new Disney Star Wars roadmap that's going to be unveiled by this fall. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Also, make sure to check me out at Mike01 on Twitter if you would like to. Now, we're now in a phase where Kathleen Kennedy is having a lot of trouble with the Acolyte TV series with Leslie Headland. We're also in a phase in which we have a lot of progression for the new universe by John, Dave, and George, really pushing all of these Star Wars Legends-driven stories to be thrown into the Disney canon. That's really going to build this new universe with some of the beloved characters mixed in with the new characters. So, moving from all of this, we do know that actress Gina Carano, given that she was fired earlier this year, back in February, handled very poorly. This led to a lot of fans canceling their Disney Plus subscription and thinking differently about Lucasfilm as a company and how it operates, and rightfully so. However, we do know that Gina Carano has really been loving what the fans have been saying about her, standing up for her. Some fans out there, everybody has their own opinion, do not like Gina Carano, and that's fine. Everybody has their own opinion on this actress that really has had a big impact on the Star Wars community, whether it be positive or negative. So, when we go ahead and examine what's been going on behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm between Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and others out there, what's really intriguing all has to do with Gina Carano's return and exactly what's going on with this and what Carano had to say about all of this. So now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars projects, such as Star Wars Ahsoka and Kenobi, as well as Andor, it's described that currently both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are actively working on reuniting the Star Wars fandom by bringing back Star Wars Legends in the mix. It's noted that as of right now, both Favreau and Filoni, given that they recently got big promotions over at Lucasfilm, they have been in the talks with the board members over at Disney on bringing back Gina Carano. However, in a recent interview, Gina Carano went on to respond to her views of coming back to Star Wars, where she went on to reveal that I know that both Jon and Dave are wonderful people, and I have still been in the talks with them because they are so loving and have done so much for me. For me to come back to Star Wars would be a big move on my part, and it's something that I think about all the time on if this would be something that would take away from my self-respect if I were to come back to the Star Wars universe. Gina goes on to state that I love the character of Cara Dune so much, and I know personally that Jon and Dave are finding ways to make that happen again. Though I feel I shouldn't reveal everything about that Jon and Dave are planning. I'm guessing the fans know what's been going on between us. I love the fans, I love the many people who have worked on the Mandalorian series that made all of this happen, and it has been a beautiful chapter in my life. What I can say is that in a couple of months' time, I may have something crucial to tell the fans about what the deal is and exactly where it's all going, and I just hope some of the fans trust in the process, as it's a very big decision for me to consider. Separate from all of this, the Disney CEO Bob Chapek is said to be handling the planning of the Ahsoka Tano series, and when that is actually planning to be filmed for 2022, and how some of the deleted scenes for Gina Carano from Season 2 are set to actually be used both in Mando Season 3 and in the Ahsoka Tano series as a bonus. So, the thing that I really actually want to dive deep into here is what Gina had to say about both Jon and Dave and exactly what they're up to. This absolutely alludes to what we've been talking about for the past number of weeks now. Remember on May 27th, Jon and Dave had a major meeting with the Disney board members. They talked with many of the higher-ups over at Disney about Gina Carano and herself coming back to Star Wars and exactly how they could go about doing that. Now this to me is a very interesting development because we obviously know that Gina Carano as a person has been very careful with her words, careful revealing exactly what she really wants to say and what she doesn't want to say, because, she doesn't want to give fans too much hope, or, too much false hope, I should say. Obviously, when we go ahead and really get down to it, it's all dwindling down to Gina Carano. Basically, the deal was made between John, Dave, and the higher-ups over at Disney of bringing back Carano. That's pretty much set in place and being finalized, and will be finalized by this September. It's all pretty much down to what Gina Carano wants to do. It's going to be her choice by this fall on exactly what she wants to do with the Star Wars franchise. So, the thing that really does surprise me the most is how we're now in a phase where Gina's talking more and more about John and Dave, the Star Wars fans, and exactly how she feels about coming back to the Star Wars universe, and whether or not it would be a good idea on her part. Now, one thing I will admit is that I think that Gina Carano, part of her wants to return, part of her does not want to return. And I think that it says a lot there when she actually tells us that how she's not really sure if it would betray her own self, like kind of go up against her own self-respect of coming back to Star Wars. That, you know, obviously is a very good point on herself, because look at what Lucasfilm did to her. You know, they treated her horribly, they let her go in such an unprofessional way, but, you know, a lot of the employees, be it visual artists, editors, concept artists, whatever it may be, have been really trying to get her off of The Mandalorian for months before she even got fired. And it wasn't just Kathleen Kennedy, it was employees over at Lucasfilm. So part of me as a person would say, I don't know why Gina would want to come back, but part of me also says that I understand why she would even be remotely thinking about it. It's all about the fans at the end of the day. It's all about what the fans want. And I think that obviously she wants to make the fans happy. But on the other side of the story, we obviously know that Gina Carano, you know, she wants to obtain a satisfying future in her acting career. Not just an acting career, but being satisfied as a person. And that really does take, you know, to be working in a positive work environment. And it all is about that. When we go ahead and see what Gina Carano said, you know, a couple of months ago when she was talking about this on the Ben Shapiro show, you know, people are constantly trying to get her fired on and off. And we heard rumblings about that before it ever really happened. And we even saw what Freddie Prinze Jr. had to say on Twitter, you know, which was absolutely horrible. You know, how he was laughing about her getting fired and stuff around those lines. It just goes to show you the true nature of Lucasfilm and exactly what their true intentions were with Gina Carano as a person. So, like I say, guys, I would love to hear what you have to say about all of this below in the comments, the entire scenario of Gina Carano. You know, do you think it would be bad for her to come back, or would it be a good thing on her part as a person? So, yeah, guys, you know, let me know what you think about that, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.